So today we're gonna build a rod for Florida Pro Matt Weeda. Matt is very particular about every single one of his rod builds. He's got an ACSM reel seat on one of his chatterbait rods. He's got an ECSM reel seat on a flipping rod. For his weed eater, which he throws a swim jig on this rod, we're tweaking it a little bit. We're changing the blank. This is an SK2 seat. I'm gonna go over the SK2 seat real quick because Matt saw a video on YouTube. I believe it was Kyle Welcher was building a rod with an SK2 seat, and he trimmed off 1/2 inch of the barrel. So I'm just gonna explain why he trimmed off 1/2 inch of the barrel. This is kind of what sets us apart from other rod companies, because we can hop on a call and I can get the rod built exactly how you want it. You can send me a fishing rod as well. I've had guys do that. I go ahead and I throw it up on the deflection chart. I can match the bend. We can use one of our blanks. I cut every single blank that I build off of. So the barrel. So what we do is we're gonna take this barrel, we're gonna measure 1/2 inch. This is exactly how Kyle did it in the video. First, you have to differentiate the front end and the back end, because the front end here is where that hood comes over. You can't, the hood doesn't fit this way. So we're gonna cut from this end. So we're gonna cut 1/2 inch. We're gonna cut that. Well, first we're gonna measure it. So we're gonna measure right there, and then we're gonna take our Dremel tool. We're gonna cut it, we're gonna clean it up, we're gonna make it look super nice. And then when it goes and gets glued here on the rod, obviously this is the bottom side, this is the trigger, this rod is already spined, everything is set up, this is all glued. And it's gonna be about 3.5 centimeters from right here, where that winding check is. So we're gonna cut that, clean it up, and then we're gonna add another winding check. I'm gonna wrap this section, we're gonna make it look real pretty. So once I get this barrel glued on here and everything is set up, Matt wants a set of recoil guides. I'm gonna grind those guides down. I'm gonna band my rod up with micro bands from Mudhole, and we're gonna align the rod, and then we're going to, actually, Matt asked me to do a acid wrap on this rod, which means we're going to add the stripper guide on the top side of the reel, and we're probably gonna do 4 transition guides, and then we're gonna run his running guides on the bottom side of the rod. Now what that does is that's gonna give Matt a whole lot more contact with line, so he's gonna have a lot more sensitivity. And not only that, but Matt really likes to do that Alabama shake. And when he does that Alabama shake, sometimes that line will get like wrapped up around his guides. But with the guides being on the bottom side of the rod towards the front half of the rod, it's not gonna happen as much. That's not a guarantee. I've never done this before. I have done it for other presentations, but for a swim jig rod and that particular Alabama shake, I don't know how it's gonna work, but it makes sense. So we'll see, we'll get back to you guys. We'll have Matt do a review on the rod and let you know what he thinks. All right, so we just trimmed our barrel. All right, as you can see, I trimmed the back side of that barrel. This is my Fuji winding check. That's gonna clip in. I sanded it. It's gonna look super clean. And the reason why we trimmed this barrel down, Kyle mentions it in his video, is you're gonna get more blank contact. So he had it measured out, and we did this before and it worked perfectly, but he had it measured down, so when that reel is completely cinched down with the lock nut, there's only about 1 thread exposed on the barrel. So Matt's finger's gonna be able to rest on the blank, he's gonna be able to feel more. On top of that acid wrap, he's really gonna be able to feel a ton. It might be too sensitive, he's gonna be setting the hook on Kissimmee grass, but like I said, he's gonna review it, we'll see how he likes it. And the benefits of that SK2 seat is in between that trigger and the barrel here, you have blank exposure as well. So he'll have 1 finger resting here, and he'll have his index finger up here on the blank. One more tip, guys. So whenever I deal with like EVA or carbon fiber or anything dark, I use this marbling pigment from Mudhole, and I mix it up with my Pro Paste, and it makes it black. Whenever I go and glue things together, because the glue is black, it just makes everything a lot more clean. You're not gonna be able to see the glue as well, and everything just kind of blends a lot better.